Hello and welcome to I Am Geek. This is episode 158. My name is Ryan, and I'm joined by my good pal Katrin, but not Chris tonight, my brother, because he is down with the shingles, the old man's disease. I think it's like the chicken pox for adults. I've had it like twice, so it's caused by stress.
It's way worse than chicken pox.
Yeah. But you have to. I think you can give people chicken pox if you have the shingles.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But Chris isn't here, so we brought in a very, very special guest. Some call him the Chancellor of the universe, of the galaxy far, far away. Chancellor Omega. We will call him Omega for short tonight. From CrimsonDawn.com, the best lightsaber company in the business. He is here. How you doing, Omega?
I am fantastic. I really appreciate you guys having me on tonight.
Hey, thanks for being on. We did an unboxing of some lightsabers for years a little while back, and I love them. Katrin loves them. Chris loves them. I was twirling mine in the backyard like a goofball because I'm still sort of stuck at home, and my wife came out and grabbed it from me, and she began to say twirling it. But see, my wife is not as big as a Star Wars fan as I am, so she was twirling it by the blade, and I'm sitting there going, "You just cut your hand off. What are you doing?" She's like, "Well, this is how we used to twirl them in flag corps." And I'm like, "Well, this isn't flag corps.
It's not a flag."
Yeah, so anyways.
We'll get her two and make a staff. It'll be easier.
Yeah, there we go. But tonight we're going to...
couples to yours.
That works for me. We're going to dive into Crimson Dawn, all about you guys, sort of the background of your company, how you got into the business, and just Star Wars in general. And we're going to have some fun tonight. So thank you for watching us on YouTube. If you're on YouTube right now, I'm Geek Show, for watching us there or listening to us wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search for I'm Geek. So let's dive right in. How did Crimson Dawn, the company, how did you start this? Where did this come from?
We have an oil and gas background, being in Texas. The oil field can take some dips.
Yeah.
And we kind of wanted to prepare for that. And we were just a bunch of nerds, and we got this great idea. What if we made and sold lightsabers? We had all the technical expertise on the staff. I actually own and operate another company called Next Gen Metalworks. We build equipment for the oil and gas business, a lot of hydraulic work, a lot of fabrication work. We have, a couple of machines, things like that. And just as a product of that, it was not very hard for us to make the transition. So we started looking into it, and, we started, getting our hands on some of the stuff and taking things apart. And, we always enjoyed it. A couple of guys at the shop had a bunch of sabers and things like that. And one thing led to another. And we also do, we're really big in the Renaissance Festival community. So to say, I guess, I don't know what other people call it. Being here from Texas, we have the Texas Ren Fair. Yeah. So we call ourselves Rennies, or, the Renaissance or anything like that. And we've always been really active in that community and really big in that community. So we're at all the Renaissance festivals and things, and really not as vendors, but just as patrons. And, we'll have a big campground, we'll have sabers set up, and people come and duel and things like that. And it just kind of grew into something bigger, and we kind of leaned on that community a little to get started. And next thing you know, here we are.
It's so cool. And it's really cool that, you saw a need for your company and your employees, and you said, let's just keep this, let's do something different. So during the hard times, we don't have to have hard times, basically. So that's
sure.
That's really cool. So why Crimson Dawn? Why did you choose Crimson Dawn?
Oh, when we were getting started, we kicked around a lot of stuff, and I was pretty adamant. The only concession I made was the original name of the company was the Crimson Dawn Cartel. And just, due to some negative stigmas with the word cartel, if you weren't real big into Star Wars lingo, it may not look good, and it could get flagged. So we dropped that piece off. But I'm a big fan of Darth Maul and the Crimson Dawn and all the lore surrounded by that. So that's kind of how we went with it. And oddly enough, we were able to trademark it and all that other good stuff. So
That's
we
awesome.
registered trademark Crimson Dawn.
That's cool.
That is wild. I mean, that's seems like that would be a hard one to get. So that's pretty awesome. You're able to get
It
that.
was not easy, but
Yeah.
it was not necessarily cheap. The domain, or the trademark, or any of that.
Yeah,
But
sure.
we kind of had our heart set on it, and we went with it.
That's
That's
cool.
awesome.
For those that don't know, if you watch the movie Solo, you'll hear a lot about Crimson Dawn in the movie Solo, which I love Solo, so I think you should check it
Yeah.
out if you haven't watched it.
Hey, by the way, did you all see that there's going to be a sequel? I read it today that they're making a Solo sequel.
They are, so they
So-
definitely are. I heard rumors.
I mean, it's probably still a rumor, right? But I mean, it was on the internet, so I mean, it had to be true. But
It's got to be true.
it's kind
I
of,
mean,
it's on the internet.
let's just hope it is, and I hope it continues the Darth Maul piece. You know,
I heard
spoiler.
that there might be a Lando movie or series coming to Disney Plus.
Yeah.
With I'm getting old. The guy that plays Lando in Solo.
And so, I
Childish
don't
Gambino.
Yeah. I've heard that he may be coming back. I forget his name. I just know him from
Me too.
Community. I know him as Troy from Community. I have his Funko Pop sitting right over here that my brother gave me. Anyways, so that's cool. I love the name. You know, when I first saw the name, I was like, oh, they're Star Wars fans because they're going a little deep in there. So they know. That's very cool. One of the cool things I love about your website is that when you click on and we're going to get into the lightsabers. When you click on a lightsaber, not only does it give you, okay, this is what the lightsaber does, but you have like a lore behind each lightsaber. You have a story that goes with them. Is that something that you guys did in house that you just said, let's sit down and come up with stories, or is it something that you found, or how did that happen? Because it's really cool how you did that.
No, it's all homegrown. We did kind of come up with it. We sat down and did a little outline of our own little cosmic universe, and a lot of it is Star Wars inspired, but we're also big sci-fi nerds in general. So if you read pretty heavy into it, you'll see a lot of inspiration from Warhammer 40K and other sci-fi genres. We kind of picked what we liked out of it and kind of wrote our own thing. It kind of helped us go through the process. When we design something or look at something, and you get it in your hand and you get an idea and you're like, oh, this is the Enclave. And we just went with it. And one of the guys here really enjoys doing it, and we were doing it for months. And I remember the first time somebody said, he would always ask me, like, how's it doing? And I would be like, it's great. We love it. And then the first time I got an email, I printed it out and brought it over to him, where somebody was like, oh, I really love, the Enclave, and I really like this. And he was just tickled pink that, people were reading it, and, people that enjoyed it. So from then on, it was just, he dedicates hours a week to coming up with new stories and new lore and new fluff, and just kind of a labor of love kind of thing.
Cool.
Yeah, that's really cool because, most lightsaber stores or whatever you go on, it's like, here's a lightsaber and here's the price, and that's really all they give you. But you can tell that you guys are fans first, and this is a passion. And just like, I'm not gonna sit here and read all the lore, because I mean, it's a whole story. But I encourage you to go on crimsondawn.com, listeners, watchers, and just pick a lightsaber and just read about it, because it's fascinating. It's cool that you guys have done this. So props to the guy that writes it.
We've actually had releases delayed because the lore wasn't quite finished. Like,
Nice.
no, I got to add one more thing. Like, and I got to link these two things together. Like, okay, well, I guess we'll release it on Friday then.
Man,
That's funny.
you could probably come up with a comic book series or like small comics about that kind of stuff too. Like, link it all together and have it, in there. It'd be a cool idea to have. I mean, I know there was some company that did that for their product. I can't think of what it was. It was something I looked at recently.
Well,
can't think of
any
it.
aspiring artists out there, Omega@crimsondawn.com. Shoot me an email, and we'll work on a comic script.
So it was He-Man. They came out with these short little like comics or maybe like little cartoons, like short, and there wasn't a cartoon yet, and they but they did those little things and then they had the characters first, and that's how they kind of sold them, I guess. And then the cartoon came out, I guess. It was cool. It was in that documentary on Netflix about He-Man specifically, but I'm sure it was also in the Toys That Made Us or whatever. It's cool.
Yeah, like
Cool idea.
the one that I have is the Herald, which is really sweet looking. And basically it starts, the heralds of the coming storm are the elite force wielding soldiers of the Omega chapter. And it's their weapon of choice. And that's just the start. It goes on and on. But it's so cool. So you have a lot on here that you guys sell. Do you have, no, I'm just sort of going through question. Do you have a favorite?
Do I personally, be a little bit more combat oriented? My favorite saber is probably the Dragoon. Let's see. No, that's a Lancer. I did not bring one. It's the one I'm missing. This is a variant of it though. This is the Lancer.
Oh, cool.
It's a much longer saber. It's over a foot long. It's got a really good hand grip. And for combat, it's got lots of handholds, lots of places to grab it. It's really well weighted, really well balanced. So the Dragoon is probably my all-time favorite. I also have a thing for windowed emitters. We have a lot of custom designs coming out really, really soon. And you'll get to see firsthand my burning passion for windowed emitters. Pretty much everything from here on out will have some kind of window cut in it somewhere. I like to see the light, coming out from different angles and different spots, and I think that makes it look cool. So that's part of the reason why the Dragoon's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I love the window emitters. It just gives it that extra little flair. So I love it.
If I had to pick two, I'm also very, very partial to the Harbinger, which is our Maul-inspired saber. Obviously Crimson Dawn, Darth Maul, the Harbinger.
Yeah.
Really like that one a lot, but it does have some electroplating done to it. So if you were going to do any type of sparring or dueling or combat, it'll hold up well, but it's a slicker handle. I'm not big on things like gloves. I like to feel the saber, so it's a little slick for me, but it definitely looks good on a wall or at a Comic-Con hanging from a belt or when somebody's spinning it around. That's probably my actual favorite.
Yeah, that one's cool looking.
Yeah, that's a sweet one. You mentioned we can go through more of these. Cater, do you have a favorite? Because I see you're looking at them.
Yeah, I'm looking at them. I kind of like the way the Talon is. It's got that windowed look to it as well, right? Is that what it?
The Talon's got a crown emitter.
Yeah.
Everybody likes the Talon. That's a crowd pleaser. You might also like the Shrike too. The Shrike has a crown emitter with a lot of double pass anodization.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the other one. Yeah, I think that's the one I was looking at before that had that. Yeah, that's really cool.
The Osprey's pretty cool too. That's one that it looks like.
The Osprey's probably the number one seller that's not a mystery box. We sell a lot of mystery boxes.
Yeah.
But the Osprey is probably the number one standalone seller. It's really, really popular. It's a pretty intricate hilt, and it's priced well below where it should be. And we kind of keep it that way because we like selling Ospreys. I like seeing people with them. It's a great saber. It duels really well. With the sleeve for extra grip, and it looks really good sitting on a desk or hanging on a wall.
Yeah, the grip looks really cool. That one.
And S emitters are really, really cool.
Yeah, that one's. I think I was reading. Does it like 5 pieces?
Yeah. Well,
I think I watched the video on it. Watched your video, and it's cool that most of these you can take apart.
5 pieces, yes.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So our standard sabers are 4 pieces. A 5th piece is if it has a sleeve, and every now and then you get an emitter extension like on the Dragoon, or a pommel extension like on the Dragoon Lancer. I actually like for dueling. I like both the both the emitter extension and the pommel extension to make a saber that's it almost looks like a staff just by itself.
Yeah.
You can get up to 6 or 7 pieces. on our sabers if you link them together right. We do have a full parts line coming out really, really soon, and we're also working on some designs. All of our sabers have the same thread patterns and the same thread repeats, so it all threads together and couples well. But we're also working on parts to integrate our current line with the MHS that other companies like Ultra Sabers and Saberforge use. So you'd be able to thread one of their emitters onto ours using one of our adapters, or vice versa.
That's really cool. Yeah, you guys, you even have a couple of them that have the cross guards, sort of like Kylo Ren, the Vanguard and the Templar, which is Templar sold out. Sorry guys, Templar is sold out. But you do have the Vanguard.
And the Vanguard's pretty close to it too. They're really popular sabers. The cross guard's a lot of fun. And we have RGB. You know, our all of our sabers on CrimsonDawn.com are RGB with full blade tune, so you can kind of change them any color you want. You can find that perfect red or that perfect blue, and the cross guards are the same way.
Yeah, it's really sweet because I love mine. I love the you can switch the colors because most of them you buy you can't do that, but these you can. I think I have mine on just like really light blue right now, which is really sweet. But then orange, I love that you can do an orange. And,
the yellow and
the yellow.
Yeah, do it all.
Cool. So you mentioned mystery boxes earlier. So how do you use the Force when the order comes in and you say this mystery box is going to this person?
So we do it in lots of 10. So basically, our mystery boxes are based on a few different things: price point and current stock on the shelf. So there's always a rotation. So it always changes. If you bought a tier 3, if you and your friends bought a tier 3 and there were 10 of you, and you all bought it 3 weeks ago, there's a chance that 6 of you might have got a Herald because we may have had an overstock in Heralds at that time. And then 2 weeks later, it could have been the Talon. And then a week after that, it could be Ospreys or Shrikes. So what we do is we line up 10. The majority, call it 6, gets the flavor of the week, whatever that may be. And then 1 or 2 of every batch gets 1 tier up.
Oh, cool.
And 1 or 2 of every batch gets blade plugs thrown into the order as well. So if you're buying tier 2s, that means 1 or 2 out of a batch of 10 will get a tier 3. And if you're buying tier 3s, you have a chance for one of the more premium tier 3s that go into the boxes a little bit less. Or we've even shipped things like Harbingers and Templars in mystery boxes as well. But it's relatively rare. That's the upsell on those. And soon we're developing a tier 4, which will kind of bolster that a little bit too.
Cool. I like those odds. So
sometimes if you're really lucky, depending on the day, there's been days where all tier 2s were tier 3s or something like that. It just depends.
That's cool. It's cool that that's good odds. I mean, because I've seen mystery boxes where people get them like, well, this is not that great, but 1 in 10 chance, or actually it's more than that with you guys.
So, yeah, the other positive thing about our mystery box is everything is guaranteed to exceed the purchase price. So everything is RGB, everything is flash on flash, everything has in-hilt recharge, everything has sound, everything's powered by an 18650, lithium-ion battery. The only mystery is really your hilt style and maybe the hilt color.
Yeah.
The rest is, the rest you're kind of guaranteed. You always get a full featured saber.
That's good. Yeah, I love it. So what was I going to say? Oh, so we were mentioning about dueling and everything earlier. Do you have a recommendation of the blade type? Because I know there's mid grades, there's heavy grades. Do you need a heavy grade to duel, or is mid grade okay?
So a lot of the dueling clubs use heavy blades. Personally, I like the mid-grade blades a little better for dueling. They're a lot less inexpensive. and there's very little risk of actually breaking the blade. You'll bend it and you'll nick it up, and it won't look very good after it's been through the ringers. It'll have, it won't shine light well or anything like that. But it's rare to break it, especially when it's mid-grade versus mid-grade. Now, when it's mid-grade versus heavy grade, the mid-grade doesn't hold up at all. It gets beat down pretty good. But for me, I like mid-grade blades for dueling. They're a little lighter, and especially, if you hit somebody with them, it's not quite as bad. The heavy grade blades pretty thick, but I do know I'm not as serious about it. A couple of my friends, I met with Shane and Steven down here from Galveston with Saber Force Academy and Killzone. And, I watch those guys go at it, and, we do a lot of stuff with those guys, and, we really support their group. They love our sabers, and they're out there using them, in full combat. They go real hard, and those guys use heavy blades. But like I said, personally, for me, I think mid-grade is fine as long as you keep it mid-grade to mid-grade.
Yeah. Like I saw a video of them testing out some of your blades, and I think they tested out a mid-grade, and it held up. I mean, it wasn't like one hit and it was dead. It held up. It took a beating, and it finally the guy. I mean, he, I think he used a heavy grade on a mid grade, like he was swinging an axe or something. He finally got it to bend. Like, it took forever, but it holds up.
Yeah, we call that abuse.
Yeah, that's abuse.
The one thing I do like about those guys too, if you pay attention when you're watching them, I didn't notice it until I watched them. They're actually, they got the sound on and everything, which is a little different for a lot of those duels. A lot of guys like to duel with stunt sabers, but with our sabers, you can duel with full sound. The electronics, everything takes combat. So if you want, you can mute it and turn the sound off, or you can go with it. You don't have to worry about it being some $450 showpiece saber that you can't play with, because you'll hit it one time and the speaker won't work anymore. These guys are out there full contact, and when they're done, you can still hear it, the swing sounds and everything. So
yeah, I've seen for our listeners, if you're thinking about getting one, the heavy grades are no joke. I've seen people go to the hospital over these heavy grade blades because they pack a punch. So be careful. Use a mid grade. That's all. Unless you're like a superhero on the street or something that's fighting crime, I don't think you need a heavy grade. But I don't want to give my wife a heavy grade. That might be the end of me.
Yeah. Don't give her any weapons.
Yeah. So we know your favorites from Crimson Dawn. Do you have a favorite like canon, like from Star Wars lightsaber?
I like the Graflex a lot, mainly because I had one sitting on my desk earlier, but I think my guy pulled it off. But I like the way it comes apart. If you guys know anything about, if you've ever seen a video or anything of the way they disassemble a Graflex, even the way they're made, the Graflexes that we have, or we'll be releasing soon, it has a little clip on the side that pops up and it twists, and it's kind of like a slick assembly. It's not really threaded together. There's like a clamp that holds it together, and I like the little rabbit ears on the blade. And I like the Graflex. That's probably my favorite saber.
Cool.
I also like the Vader saber. It's really cool. That's what I got behind me going in a NeoPixel here.
That's cool. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say those are my favorite canon sabers, and I hate to say it, I also like Kylo saber a little, crossguard.
Hey, I liked it when it came out, and everybody was giving a hard time. I'm like, why are you giving a hard? It's a new lightsaber. Come on, it's cool.
You gotta change it up a little bit.
Yeah, I think
something interesting.
I think my favorite saber. I just have the toy version. Is Obi-Wan's from Episode 3, the thin neck.
You said the toy version.
Oh, well, versus like the Hasbro version.
I know.
That has the collapsible.
It just cracks me.
Yes. Yes.
There you
That
go.
is.
Nice.
Yeah, those thin necks are awesome. That one and Luke's thin neck from Return of the Jedi are probably my two favorites. Um, I have I also like Ahsoka Tano's um, lightsabers. I have her ones from Rebels, the two that look like sort of like samurai swords. Um, no, it's sort of
Like a katana.
yeah.
Blade.
I know the one you're talking about. I don't have
Yeah.
that. That's my Subo.
Here, hold
Yeah.
on, I'll grab mine.
He steps away. This is the part where we have to fill in the blanks because he walks away.
He merges into the abyss.
Right? I'm a big fan. I mean, it's probably not super popular, but the Rey lightsaber with when she comes out at the end and where she twists it at the end, and it's like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Like it's a different way to light a lightsaber, and I really like that. There it is.
There.
Yep, he's showing us the
Yeah, good for our
Ahsoka
listeners. Anyways, I mean, they're all so many. I mean, I love Mace Windu's lightsaber. It's just like
Yeah.
so many. But yeah, Rey's lightsaber is the new one. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's kind of windowed, I guess, right? Doesn't it have
It has
or
a
crown,
window. It's
whatever you want
cool.
to
The
call it?
windows. If you
Not
watch,
really windows.
I'm a geek. I'm a nerd. If you slow down the footage when she turns it on, it changes like 3 colors in the windows before it lights up yellow.
Oh wow.
Which is pretty cool. It goes from like
Yeah.
a green, blue. I don't know. It goes like 3 different colors before it changes to the yellow.
Nice.
So
It's symbolic, I'm sure.
I don't know. I love lightsabers. Everybody gives me a hard time because I get so many of them, but I don't know. They're cool. It's my
Same
thing.
here.
I mean, I give my wife gives me a hard time. I'm like, I could be into classic cars, and that would be a lot more money. She's like, well, that's true. That's true. So inside of each lightsaber in the Star Wars universe is a kyber crystal. Do you guys ever plan on maybe doing something with kyber crystals?
Yes. We were talking about it just earlier this week. We're coming out with some new designs, and we're trying to come up with a separate kyber chamber that'll thread onto the bottom of our sabers. That's got its own light system, its own electronic system, and I'd like to do something with NFC to make it to where the crystal does something a little different for the hilt. It changes some settings or some parameters for the hilt, but we don't have it quite fleshed out yet.
That's cool. Yeah, no,
but
I mean,
the short answer is yes. The long answer is it's in its infancy stage.
Oh yeah,
We got some pretty good rough sketches, and my electronics guy here in the shop has some decent ideas of how we could do it.
that's cool. I mean, just to have, just so, I mean, even if it doesn't do anything, it's just there, just to be like, see, look, here's my kyber crystal that goes with my lightsaber. But yeah, for it to do something, yeah, that's gonna be sweet when you guys will get it. You guys are smart guys. You'll get it figured out.
For sure.
Yeah. Then I'll
Are
have
you
to
gonna-
get one.
Will you be able to call them kyber crystals, or would you have to call them something different? You don't have to say what you're going to call them, but yeah.
I think other companies call them that.
No, nobody really messes with it too much. The IP in this part of the business is pretty loosey goosey.
Yeah.
So as long as you're not doing anything really blatant,
Yeah.
you're pretty good. I don't think they would have an issue with it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, they probably would, but I don't think they would voice the concern.
Yeah. I think the only way that they would have concerns if you put the word Disney in front of it.
If we named a character Disney, they would probably shut us down.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
sure.
so I mean, because I know people that make custom kyber crystals and sell them, and
sure,
they just call them. People are like, I want to buy your kyber crystal.
Oh, there's saber companies with the word kyber in the name.
Yeah.
And, tons of groups with kyber this and kyber that. It's pretty open.
Which last night I like to tinker around with stuff. Last night I started working on some kyber crystals, making my own.
There you go.
So I made some.
Making a mold or something.
I've got some mold. You can't see it probably. I've got the mold made. So now I've got to fill it with resin and see if it actually works.
It's Cool.
But I want to try to make some to go. I have a lightsaber that you can put kyber crystals in, but you have to have like an RFID chip that goes inside of it. But I'm having a hard time finding the chips that work with it. I found some from like AliExpress from China, and I ordered them, but who knows if they'll ever come. Hopefully they don't come with
Eventually
weird.
they will.
Hopefully they don't come with like weird seeds. Or
Seeds.
So yeah. Let's see what else. What else we got?
We had a comment on YouTube.
Oh, cool.
It's General Malice. Thanks for joining the show. It says nothing wrong with another saber every week for years on end.
There we go. General Malice is a cool dude. I've talked to him several times. He does cool like unboxing videos and stuff, and I recommended him to you guys. And he said he heard about you and he was going to check you out. And his wife does etching, and so they'll get lightsabers, and she'll do etching all over the hilts, and they're sweet looking. So check out. I mean, I'll give him a plug. He's on here. Give him General Malice a look him up. He's got some cool stuff he does on his YouTube page.
Definitely check him out.
Yeah, it's cool. So I recommend. I said, you need to check out Crimson Dawn. So I'm sure he will. He's probably going to order like boxes and boxes. So
there you go.
Yeah, you guys are blowing up. I'm on the lightsaber forum on Reddit, and I try to give you guys shout outs, and people are like finding you and finding out about you. So it's only going to go up for you. And the thing that my favorite thing about you guys in Crimson Dawn is your customer service. Best customer service in the business that I've come across, and that's including Disney. Everybody, that's including Disney, because when you guys are on it, if I message you or somebody message you, it's like you're immediately there. Your shipping is like, I mean, within a week at the most, it seems like.
We ship same or next day.
Yeah.
So if you place your order on a Tuesday, the order either goes out Tuesday or Wednesday. That's 99% of the time. And we use the fastest shipping methods that we can. So I've had the coolest thing is shipping to somebody in Texas because I had somebody place an order once, and I went in and filled it, and I immediately got a call, and they were really taken aback that somebody answered the phone.
That's
and
cool.
I was like, yeah, this is Omega at Crimson Dawn. How can I help you? And they were like, Crimson Dawn the website? And I was like, yeah. And like, I was pretty sure this was a scam. And they're like, what do you mean? He's like, I just bought a lightsaber 5 minutes ago, and I got a shipping notification. And I was like, yeah, no, it's going to go out tonight. And he was like, how long is it going to take to get here? And I was like, and I went and looked at his order number, and he was in like San Antonio. And I was like, if this goes out tonight, it could be there tomorrow. And he was like, no way. When they see it so fast, they think that it's some kind of Facebook scam or something.
Yeah.
But no, we keep a really tight shipping window. We ship all the time. We ship. The longest it's taken anyone to get anything normally is 6 days, and that's the UK.
Wow.
So things get to the UK and Canada in 6 or 7 days. The furthest part of the continental U.S. is about 4 days, and the average is about 3. With the Golden Triangle, Oklahoma, Louisiana, New Mexico, those guys usually get there in 2.
Wow,
that's cool. The Golden Triangle, that should be like your like light side version of Crimson Dawn.
That's the logo.
There you go. There you go. We got somebody commenting. I just want to throw this in there because they said that they got the Harbinger today from you, and they had to restrain themselves from buying more. So there you go. That's a plug right there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so that's cool.
Show no restraint. Buy all the lightsabers.
Yeah, buy them all.
We won't tell anybody.
We do take customer service really, really serious. I'm very much involved with literally every single aspect. I do about 95% of everything you see. So if you get a saber or anything like right now, that's pretty much me doing it all. The assembly, boxing, shipping, labels. The customer service is basically a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-week job. We get calls. I'm up to probably 40 to 50 emails on a slow day, 100 plus on something really busy. And I take the time to answer every one. And if I do miss one, it's by accident more than anything. Tons of messages on social media. Lots of people just message me to talk these days. I feel like I have whole conversations with people. I don't know how I find time to do other things right now, but it's been fun and I enjoy it. And the customers are happy and it's good. I always say I can't necessarily get it right 100% every time, but if you give me the chance, I'll make it right. That's kind of our motto here at Crimson Dawn.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, it's superb. I mean, what you guys are doing. Ketron, do you have any questions?
Don't just yet.
Oh, I was going to mention that you guys have a basically it's like a 2-pack that you can get, right? Or you did on your website.
The bundles?
The bundles, yes.
Yeah, right now we're working on some more bundles. We plan on bundling most everything, but right now we currently have shade bundles and banshee bundles, like the Arbiter Balance, the Warrior of Darkness, I think the Champion of Light. And if you want any other color combinations of those, I always tell people, this is a great time to get the word out on this. Use the notes section of your order. It is the Bible. When I'm out on the shop floor filling orders, I have a tablet, and a lot of times somebody will message me something on Facebook and ask for something specific, or no colors or something like that. And if it doesn't make it into the notes, or maybe they want a specific blade link, and if it's in the notes section, there's a 95% chance I'm going to get it right. But if you just told me, know that 60 other people told me something similar within the last 24 hours, and yours could have slipped through the cracks. So use the notes section. So if you want to order one of those bundles, and maybe you got a young, you got a son and a daughter, and you want one of the blue and the amethyst shades, you can just put that in the notes, and 9 times out of 10, as long as we have stock available, I'll sub those colors and things like that for you. So
that's cool. That's cool.
I do have a question. You talked earlier about like people wearing them on like with their costumes, Comic-Con type events, conventions, events like that. Do all of them have like holes at the bottom where they can make a hook, or what have you seen people do for that kind of thing?
So the most common practice is which most of us can't do right now is drilling, tapping, and using a CoverTech wheel. Okay. We will be doing that for you, and we will have adapters coming out awesome. In the near future that'll thread in on your saber. So let me grab one here. So this one here, I'm going to have a piece that's going to be pre-drilled, pre-tapped with a CoverTech wheel already on it that'll thread onto this piece, and then the pommel will set on top of it. That way you can have a CoverTech wheel. Right now, we're just trying to make sure that we can get plenty of, we can machine the CoverTech wheels, no problem, but we need to have a really good stock of CoverTech clips. And we're working on how we want the clips, whether we want, the pinch style or just the drop in. And that's one way. We also have stuff like, let me see. Leather wraps coming out that have, a hook and a hole.
Oh, that's cool. Right here.
Snaps on and off.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Something like that kind of thing. We have those coming out soon, as well as just D-rings too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I saw something. I'll send it to you later, but it could be something that you could provide for people. They make, I've seen, which would be easy for you guys to do. Because all these have retention holes, like retention screws. I've seen a retention screw that doubles as a CoverTech wheel. So it screws in your pre-existing holes that all the lightsabers have, and you just hook it right on the CoverTech thing. So I'll send that to you, and do with it as you will.
Okay.
But so that's another option that you may be able to use. But I just found that I happened upon it, and I was like, well, that's perfect. That would be easy because all of these lightsabers, the way the blades hook in are retention screws. So now most lightsabers in canon, you would put it on your belt with the blade side facing down where the blade comes out. So that would be the only thing. But I mean, even Darth Vader wears his blade side up. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. I have to go back and look.
I'm looking for a poster with him.
Yeah, I'd have to look. I could be wrong. Somebody in the comments can tell me
So,
if I'm wrong or wrong.
You just had a saber there a second ago that was red. So you guys sell them in many different colors, I guess, or how many different colors do you guys sell in?
Oh man, we have all the colors.
All the colors.
So we have black, silver, gun, red, blue, gold, rose gold, an amethyst purple, green. We have all kinds of hilt colors.
Yeah, that's cool.
And you sell blade plugs and extra blades as accessories on your website too. So if somebody wants a blade plug,
we do. We probably give them away 10 to 1.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, we do have a couple of people that buy them, but the guy that runs the numbers keeps asking, how did we go through 1,000 blade plugs? There was only sales for 90, and it was like, wow.
Yeah, but so if you do break your blade, like if you give your lightsaber to your wife, and she goes full force on you, and it breaks, you can order a new just blade, which is good.
Yeah, no, we sell mid-grade and heavy grade blades, both in a 1-inch and 7/8 variant. And after talking with a couple of the guys at Saberforce, we're also sketching up some 3/4-inch light speed blades for one of the Saber Combat events.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah, and also NeoPixel. We don't have NeoPixel blades up on the site right now, but we should have enough NeoPixel blades within the next probably 2 weeks to supply the entire industry.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're going really heavy into NeoPixel in the future. We're still going to keep our baselet stuff. Baselet is great for dueling, and it's easy to make inexpensive baselet hilts. But we do plan on pushing real heavy into the NeoPixel markets here in the very near future.
That's cool because yes, the base light ones are good for dueling. The NeoPixel is like a step up. I mean, it's like because the light basically runs all the way through the blade, like that one right there, right?
Yeah, I shouldn't take this one off, but this is a NeoPixel here.
Yeah, that's cool. And,
I got it set on. I got it set on a blue strobe right now, and it's very bright, as you can see.
Yeah, you can see it go all the way up the blade too, instead of just kind of light.
Yeah. You could do all kinds of effects with the NeoPixel. It's very
That's cool. Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah. Now for the baselit blades though, are they? Can you cut them down? Like, can a customer say, "Okay, I've got a kid. I don't want him to have a 36-inch long blade." Can he cut that down?
Yeah, they do all the time. We cut blades to length all the time. Right now, we don't have it set up with a specific section where you select blade size. Everything comes with a standard 36-inch blade. But if you put it in the note section, what size blade you want, we'll cut it down to any length.
That's cool.
I always tell people to be mindful of the length of the hilt when they're with the length of the blade. I've had some people that were trying to make staffs, and the rule of thumb on a staff is you want your staff to be your height. So they'll say, I want 30-inch blades, and then they'll order them all and have a 6.5-foot saber with 30-inch blades, and they're 5'6".
That would make a funny video of them trying to spin it though.
but yeah, you can have your blade cut to any length.
That's cool. Oh, cool. I'm excited to see all the stuff that you guys are going to come out with because this is the cool thing about Crimson Dawn is that for those listening, for those watching, how long have you been in business?
So formally, we've been Crimson Dawn now, I think, going on 2 years.
Yeah.
We did some moonlighting and we took our time and we were real slow. We've really been heavy this year. So depending on like this year, we obviously with coronavirus, it dampened some of what we were going to do, but we had a full convention schedule and all kinds of things in the works. We did get to do one of the newer cons this year, right before everything started, and I think we did a Fandom Legacy Con. And so this year, we got really big into it. And this year we kind of took the plunge and really, got in head over heels. And it's been nothing but great. So
that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, only up from here for you guys. As long as the world doesn't explode.
We have a lot of plans for the industry and the hobby. There's a lot of stuff that we want to do going forward, to kind of set ourselves apart from some of the other guys out there and, right some of the wrongs and, just kind of push the hobby forward. It's kind of, to us, it kind of seems like it's been kind of sitting in this lull for quite some time. And we really want to push the boundaries and see what we can do in the lightsaber business.
Sounds great. Okay, I'll end with this question. What's your one or two favorite moments in the Star Wars movies?
So my all-time favorite is I think is it Rogue One, where Vader's in the airlock.
Oh yeah.
And he's like throwing the guys up against the wall and cutting them down, and the dude runs up to the door, and they're all trying to get out. And like I always feel like that's my Darth Vader, know. So that's probably my all-time favorite. I'm very pro Empire in Star Wars canon. Hence Supreme Chancellor Omega, the Crimson Dawn and all that other good stuff. So Vader is kind of my go-to guy there. That's probably my number one scene.
That scene was so cool.
That was just amazing how it blended in so well to New Hope, right? Because it fit. It worked perfectly. Like it's that was a cool moment. I mean, just to be able to watch them back to back.
Well, the first time that I saw Rogue One, and you get to that moment and you see that red lightsaber light up, you're just like, oh, it's on. It is about to go down. And it was so.
What about you guys? What's your favorite scene?
Okay, so when I guess because of when it came out, I think Return of the Jedi is always going to be my favorite Star Wars movie, just because it's the first one that I can really remember. I'm 42 years old, so it's the first one that I could really remember in the theaters. So just the whole Jabba Palace scene with Luke coming in all black, and he's just there to just take names, all that stuff. To keep it family friendly. Just that whole scene, and then they go out on the sail barge, and you have the Sarlacc pit. Just that whole that's probably my favorite sort of moment in Star Wars. You see all the heroes coming back together after they've been separated from an empire, and so I really like that. That scene's probably my favorite.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say actually too. I mean, that just with Leia coming in right as with the wait, now she was
in her bikini. Is that what you're saying?
In her bikini. Gosh, I'm thinking of a different part. Sorry, but no, just that whole scene where Luke comes in. Really, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, and the whole how that all came down. With sorry, my computer's giving me all these notifications all of a sudden. But yeah, that everybody is kind of on the wings, and then they come in and take over. So yeah, that's probably one of my favorites too.
Favorite character, or do you have a favorite character? Both of you, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. So what I was originally thinking of though was when Leia's in the the costume. I can't think of the type of whatever she was, but she had the cool like helmet on and
Okay.
everything.
So when she was dressed as a bounty hunter.
Bounty
Well,
Hunter, that's what I was thinking. Yeah. So she comes in. That was one. That's another of my favorite parts too. But and releasing Han, But I don't know. Favorite character, man.
So many good ones.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, it'd be a tough one. I like the Anakin a lot. The older one.
Yeah.
Darth Vader, probably my all-time favorite.
Yeah. Definitely all-time favorite villain of anything. Darth Vader.
As you guys were talking about your favorite movie, I have the posters all around. This whole office it's a little cube, and there's nothing but Star Wars posters. So I got Return of the Jedi over there. I was looking back here to see, and I got The Empire Strikes Back, and pretty much full wall Star Wars.
That's so cool. Yeah, my room. If I had my thing turned off, there's Star Wars everywhere. It's just ridiculous. I even have. I'm not a Last Jedi fan. I even have the Last Jedi poster, but it's just me. It's not, we won't
I have some of the Lego sets up there.
Yeah.
Man,
I think
I don't think I've ever thought about what my favorite Star Wars character is. I mean, that is a tough
it's a hard one. I think after this last season of Clone Wars, if I was looking at Star Wars as a whole, sort of the growth and everything that Ahsoka Tano went through, I mean, she's right up there. I mean, she's not with the original, trilogy, but great character, great character development. So I mean, the way she deals with Anakin, and everything is really cool. And then I mean, Obi-Wan. I mean, how can you go wrong with Obi-Wan?
Yeah.
I mean,
I like Obi-Wan, and I like Qui-Gon Jinn too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Qui-Gon is the man. I saw a funny meme, I guess, with Obi-Wan. The scene where now we're just getting into Star Wars. We're just talking Star Wars now. When Obi-Wan is coming through the to save Luke, Luke is like the Sand People or Tusken Raiders sort of knocked him out, and Obi-Wan's coming down from the hill in the big cloak. It was a funny meme because they the Sand People start talking in their language, Tusken Raiders, and then they run off. So somebody translated, I put that in quotes because they made it up, but basically the translation is, "Wait, is that the that guy that came and killed all of our women and children? What was his name? Anakin? Is that Anakin come back to kill us all?" And they just run off.
That's awesome.
It's the fabled Anakin Skywalker coming to kill us all. So yeah, I mean, there's so many. I mean, Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, even the droids. I mean, R2-D2 is probably one of my favorite characters of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And he basically.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted the the last movie, Rise of Skywalker. Sorry. I wanted it to end. I wanted the last trilogy to end with R2-D2 surrounded by kids or something telling the story of the Skywalkers in his
projecting holocrons or holographs.
Yeah, projecting the holographs, and then basically the whole series was just R2 telling the story of the Skywalkers. That's how I wanted it to end, but it didn't end like that. But,
If they would have took your advice, it probably would have been better.
Yeah, probably so.
Yeah.
But they're making up for it with the Mandalorian, though. The Mandalorian's really good.
Yeah. Oh, that's
incredible.
That's a nice. So, do you got any thoughts for a Darksaber there?
It's already coming out. It's very, very late. We were hoping to have our Darksaber release a month and a half ago. But it's very, very close. All our blades come with the profile already. All of our sabers come with the profile already. The second sound font on most sabers we sell is the Darksaber because of that.
Yeah. That's cool.
Now, I think we're going to think it's cooler than the market is going to think, but we already think it's cool enough that we're doing it. So,
Oh, I think
for
it'll be
sure.
cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I made a dark saber for my Disney one, so and
I,
those, yeah, I made my own version.
yeah. That's sweet. Yeah.
The
So I
sleeve.
mean, we'll probably see more of it. Wouldn't you think in the
Yeah.
next Mandalorian season? So I mean, I think it's going to be timely. So I mean,
They've
that's
already
in
said
October.
Yeah, they've already said that early on in season 2, you're going to find out how he got the dark saber.
So it's really bugging me that I can't think of my favorite Star Wars character, but I think Boba Fett. Boba Fett is probably my favorite.
Yeah,
And
Boba Fett's the
it
man.
always has been. Now that I think of it, because I always liked the jetpack and that he has, and just that helmet and the costume and everything. We had this one toy, and I've said this before, but I've never seen it. I don't know how to find it, but it was a tall figure. And we had a couple of them, and it seemed like you could look through the eyes or something of it, like from the back
We've
of
talked
it.
about this before.
I know. And it was like, did you dream this? What is it? But it was the coolest thing, because it was Boba Fett. And then when Jango
Boba Fett
came out, Boba Fett, where? When Jango came out, that was the toy I bought because it was like, this is the closest thing, and he has the little grappling hook through his hand and the jetpack and all that.
I have a whole
super
section
cool.
of my shelf that's just Boba Fett, Jango Fett.
Yeah.
Now the Mandalorian.
I like Count Dooku a lot too. I like the curve saber.
Yeah.
I like him enough that my dog, who's down here asleep under this desk, his name is Count Dooku. We call him Duke for short.
Nice. Yeah.
Now, Count Dooku had one of the coolest deaths in Star Wars.
Yeah.
I mean, that whole scene was cool, and he had that look on his face, like, really, this is how we're going to do it. And then he was just head went rolling. Anyways, all right. All right, well, I mean, I don't want to keep you any later than you have to because you've got lightsabers to make.
Tomorrow is always a big shipping day because we have to ship on Friday. Because if we don't, we'd have to go all the way through the weekend, and it would just be pandemonium if people had to wait till Monday.
Yeah.
So tomorrow is a day. Is always a huge shipping day. Fridays and Mondays are probably our biggest days.
That's cool.
On Fridays and Mondays, I stay in the shop, and I literally ship sabers until the UPS truck shows up. So sometimes he shows up at 7:30, and people buy sabers at 6:50, right? And their saber will go out that night because I sit in here and I keep printing labels and keep boxing stuff up and keep working until the UPS guy shows up and scans everything in.
That's cool, man.
It's great.
That's cool. Well, anything that we can do for you in the future, you let us know. We're happy to support you. We'll keep plugging away to get you as many sales as we can. Because in love with your guys' product and website. But we don't want to keep you. We've been going for an hour, so I mean, the hour has flown by. And thank you, Omega, for coming on.
No, I really appreciate you guys having me. I'm really excited. I was glad to come on. It was a lot of fun. Anytime you guys ever need to fill some dead space, let me know. Well, depending on how many people watch this. I mean, if this is your worst rated show, you can just let me know and I won't come back.
No.
But
we did get it.
I would be honored to come back and do another show with you guys. It was a lot of fun, especially when your brother he owes me a show.
Yeah, that's right.
We'll get him. We'll get you back on when Chris is on.
So we did get a new subscriber because of this show. So that's awesome. Yeah.
There we go.
Was it me?
No, General Malice.
Subscribe.
General Malice, yeah.
Yeah. So
there we go.
Awesome.
Yeah, but we'll have to have you back on so you can tell us about all the cool stuff that we know you're going to make and build.
For sure.
Now I'm going to be looking at your website like every day, going, "What's new? What's new today?"
The next month should be something exciting almost every week.
Cool.
Oh man, that's great.
Very cool. Well, thank you for coming on, and we'll wrap this up. YouTube, we'll hang around for a minute afterwards just to answer any questions you may have. But for episode 158, I'm Ryan, and this is Katrin, and this is the Grand Chancellor Omega. Then good night, and we will talk with you next week on I Am Geek.